All right, hello everyone. My name is Conception2. Thank you so much for having me in this event as the finale running Pokemon Red any percent glitchless. We're gonna have a good time. I have somebody on my virtual couch with me if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello, yeah, I'm NES_NS_. I run mostly anime games and Monkey Ball. I'm excited to get down and have some fun for the finale of this marathon.
Absolutely. He says anime games and Monkey Ball, but he also runs some Pokemon as well, so
Anime games.
don't yeah, that counts as anime. You're right. All right, so we'll just get started. We'll do some talking as we get in. So the time will start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Heck yeah, good luck.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. You might have saw right before we hit the new game there, we just changed a few settings. We just made the text speed fast and we turned off battle animations just to make things a little bit faster. Oops. Gonna actually reset that 1 second because I forgot we need to do the rival nickname as well. So you can just keep the timer going. It doesn't waste a lot of time. It's not a big deal. So we went with Delvin, I believe, was the final rival name. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, Delvin. Let me just start this up. All right, there we go. Get to see Professor Oak talk again and get to see this Nidorino.
Yeah, at least you can change the text speed before you start the run in this game, because the Pokemon games I run, you cannot do that. And it's not very fun.
All right, Delvin, here we go. D-E-L-V-I-N, there we go. And you notice right here we made our name one character. That is because, as you can see, text appears in a scrolling fashion, and each letter that appears on the screen is 1 frame. So the fact that we can save multiple frames just by having our name be one character is going to save a lot of time throughout the run. And that goes for our Pokemon as well. You're going to notice our main Pokemon that we use, we're going to be nicknaming him to one character as well. All right, so we grabbed that potion from the PC in our bedroom, and that is purely because there's about a 10% chance that you can die to your rival here. It's not very likely, but it can happen, and we need the experience in order to progress at a proper rate. So that's it. We just want to make sure we guarantee the victory here.
Yeah, but 10% seems to happen in this game. A lot more than 10%.
Yeah. Percentages in this game are bonkers because it'll be like, this move is 85% chance to hit, but it'll hit like, 4 times out of 10 or something like that. It can't be explained.
Yeah.
All right, so we
a suggestion.
Exactly. For Pokemon, it always appears that way. So we pick up Squirtle. We use Squirtle a decent amount, so we do nickname Squirtle one character name. That will be important for some of our RNG manipulations later, especially, but it also just saves us time. All right, and here we are, rival fight. We pick Squirtle. Obviously, that means our rival's gonna pick Bulbasaur. Sorry for all you Charmander fans.
So yeah, hard to fight.
All right, so we're good. Yep, one of the hardest fights in the game for sure. We tail whip first turn. Looks like we are speed tied with the Bulbasaur, so we got the first turn off, but second turn, Bulbasaur outsped us there. Tackle in this game, at least, is a 95% accurate move, so therefore the second time I tried to use it, I missed, and the third time I tried to use it, I missed. So, again, 95%. And all we do is we tail whip the first time. That is just so we can lower the Bulbasaur defense a little bit and make it a little bit easier for us, then we just tackle to win. The only side effect is that Bulbasaur can growl us, which lowers our attack, which makes our damage output less. Luckily, we haven't been rolled too much on that. And that is what we call precise. I knew as long as he didn't crit that I would live with that tackle, so here we are.
Let's go calculations.
Yeah. It was technically a risk. I probably should have healed, because if he had crit, I would have died, so, but... we have to do it for the people. Sometimes we have to do some things for content.
It's fine.
Yeah, but we're good. Now we have our Pokemon. We're gonna make our way up Route 1 here to head to the Pokemon Center. We have to pick up the parcel for Oak and then return it to said Oak. We do need to fight one encounter. on the way, and this is a good one to do. We want to see a Rattata. We could also fight a level 2 or 3 Pidgey. It's not as good because Rattata has a it has tackle and tail whip, so we have a chance for it to not be hit, which is we've gotten 2 tail whips, which is great. But Pidgey only has gust at those levels, so it will always just hit us. So Rattata is the better option. We actually got through without taking any damage at all, which is nice. It'll probably enable me to skip a potion later on just to save a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's fairly lucky.
All right, and there we are. And then we just have to walk all the way back down Route 1. The way back down is a lot less tumultuous because we don't have to walk through nearly as much grass. In fact, we can skip every grass patch besides the very first one we enter on Route 1. We just hop the ledges, and when we get to this one, we walk around. If I had not hit an encounter yet, I would actually walk through that just because it's a faster route and because I need an encounter anyway. It wouldn't have been slower if I hit one. But since we already hit one, we're just moving on. All right, we got 2 options here. I'm actually going to talk to Oak from behind. You can also talk to Oak from the side here to save time, but behind looks funnier, so I like doing that. But it's perfect to the frame, and that is because, as you can see in a second here, our rival comes up from the bottom of the screen. Our rival walks half the speed of us. So if we can limit the amount of tiles our rival can walk by our position, we like to, because it'll save time. If we talk to him from the side, the rival will have 1 more tile from down screen, but we had to walk less tiles. But we walked a couple extra tiles, so the rival could walk even less, and it's actually perfect to the frame, like I said, so it doesn't really matter which one you take. If you were running Pokemon Yellow, you'd have to do behind Oak because you'd have Pikachu trailing you, so you can't walk to the side because Pikachu will be behind you taking up space.
Yeah, for the most part, Yellow and Red are pretty much the same run, aside from the beginning is fairly different because you have Pikachu instead of Squirtle, but the Nidoran you get is really similar.
Yeah, it's a similar idea. Basically, you're going to see it here in a second. We're going to perform an RNG manipulation to catch a Nidoran male with excellent stats, basically perfect stats. And the concept is the same in Yellow. You do it in a different spot, and Nidoran has slightly different movesets in that game, but the concept, generally speaking, is the same. We're going to buy 4 Pokeballs here. We only need 3, but I buy an extra one for safety. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of quiet time here because the RNG manipulation does require a little bit of focus. This one isn't so bad, but... Oops. Gonna swap those to make the manipulation go a little easier, and then we save and reset right away. And then, yeah, I'm just gonna focus on this a little bit, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it after. All right, excellent. I'm just gonna make sure I actually nickname the Nidoran. I did that wrong last time. I did this in a marathon. There we go. All right, we nickname it again, 1 character just for the sake of speed for 1, but also another RNG manipulation depends on it as well. But so what we did there is that we saved and we quit. I'll grab this for safety. I don't technically need it since I'm full health, but this is a marathon. You never know what can happen. So we save at that specific tile, that exact tile that I saved at. And you notice that I also swapped my Pokeballs on top, and that is just because we not only perform an RNG manipulation for the Nidoran itself, and for that specific Nidoran with really great stats, but the manipulation continues past getting the Nidoran to the point that we actually manipulate the Nidoran getting into the ball on the first throw without having to weaken it. So there's a lot that goes into that, and basically how we perform that is by doing specific inputs. For example, you might have noticed I walked in a kind of a janky pattern there, and I have to walk specifically in that pattern in order to do it, and there's actually 7 different tiles I have to press A on in that pattern in order to get the result that I want. So I have to do it precisely in order for it to work. even after I do all that, there is a chance that it won't work despite me doing it exactly right. We call that IGT, and the reason why we call that, it stands for in-game timer, obviously. But it's as a result of the in-game timer being on a specific frame that no matter what you do, RNG manipulations wouldn't have worked anyway. So it's actually in-game timer 0 on the exact frame, the 0 out of 60. That would cause it to fail. Luckily, we didn't get that, so we didn't have to deal with it.
Yeah, pushing A on the different tiles basically just like checks the tiles for like hidden items, and even though there's nothing there, it does delay you by like a frame or so, I think.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. So you might have noticed as well, I kind of glossed through it while I was explaining the RNG manipulation. I did hit an encounter, but for the most part, like this Viridian Forest has been pretty favorable in terms of me not running into things, and that is because we take a specific pattern. If you look on the tiles that I had walked on, a lot of the tiles had a little flower in the top left corner, and for whatever reason, those tiles have a third of the chance than normal to hit an encounter, so we just choose to walk on those paths as much as we can. Unfortunately, there are some tiles that just don't have that flower anyway on the path, and on one of those tiles I hit an encounter. Can't really control it, so but one encounter is not too bad, and we'll take it, and it's still pretty reasonable exit. That fight was excellent with the Weedle. That Weedle can give us a really hard time. It has Poison Sting, obviously you saw it a couple times. It can poison us because of that, and that's why we pick up an antidote just in case. But that brings our Squirtle to level 8. Squirtle now knows Bubble, which makes Brock a lot easier to deal with, so.
Yeah, in terms of the starters, Squirtle learns Bubble fairly early, like as a stab move, same type attack bonus, which gives like 1.5 times the power of the move. So if you have Bulbasaur, I think you learn Leech Seed before you learn Vine Whip.
Correct.
So you would have to grind more if you did pick Bulbasaur. And Charmander's Charmander fire moves.
Yeah, fire moves just aren't good for this. Yeah, so that's why we don't use Bulbasaur. If we wanted, Vine Whip would be the move that we'd want to use, but it doesn't learn Vine Whip till I think 12, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 12.
So we'd have to grind. We'd have to grind a lot more. Squirtle is the option we want to do. However, you might have just noticed that in a menu before I challenged Brock here, I actually put Nidoran up top, and that is simply to do some swap experience gaining, because we're going to swap right back to Squirtle.
Yeah, right now the Nido is a bit of a baby, so it can't really handle much.
Unfortunately not. And in terms of our Squirtle, so as Ness pointed out, same type attack bonus does extra damage based on moves of your same type, but we are also blessed in the way that our Squirtle has really good special, so it makes it a lot easier for us right now. We could take 3 hits per each Geodude and Onix, but because our special is good enough, we can do it in 2 hits per. Bide is great here because it can't hurt us. We actually got pretty much the fastest cycle we could have gotten, which is pretty nice. Now specifically our Nidoran is level 8 here, and level 8 will enable our Nidoran to learn Horn Attack, which is very important for the early game. If for whatever reason we had skipped level 8 and went to level 9, in Gen 1 you do not learn the move you would have at level 8. So it's very important that we do not bypass level 8 and we hit level 8 specifically.
Yeah, if you didn't get Horn Attack, it would make the early game a lot harder, to say the least.
Yeah. We would have to depend on Tackle, which, as you all saw at the beginning of the game, misses. So Horn Attack is a 100% accurate move. Now that doesn't actually exist in Gen 1. Hopefully we don't have to dive into that at all, but we might. But Horn Attack is a 100% accurate move. So as long as you're not impeded by, say a Sand Attack, something that lowers your accuracy, it will hit.
Yeah.
There's also a factor called Gen 1 misses. For whatever reason in this game, there's a 1 in 256 chance that your 100% accurate move will miss for no reason. Don't know why it's included, but it can happen.
Yeah, it's just 100% and then like an asterisk.
Yep. So it's really like, I think it's really like 98 point something percent or 99 point something percent, but for all intents and purposes, it's 100%. All right, so now we have our Nidoran, and you probably saw that I went into my menu after Brock, and that was to change the style from shift to set, which means that now after every battle, it will not ask me if I want to change Pokemon when the trainer swaps to the next Pokemon. And obviously that just saves a bunch of time. We're going to be using Nidoran as our front Pokemon the entire rest of the run.
Yeah, hopefully.
So
if we get really just like okay luck, we won't have to see any of the other Pokemon.
yeah, the only other time we would have to is we do one specific swap at the towards the end of the game to manipulate the AI of a certain Pokemon, which we'll get into. It's in the Elite Four, so it's towards the end. So hopefully we don't have to deal with it at all. Oh yeah, I probably should have Horn attacked there, but that's fine. Just wasted a turn, but not a big deal. We got extra potions, so that's not a big deal. All right, so we're gonna go up here. We're gonna use our potion because our Nidoran is a little low. And then now we get to fight Shorts Kid.
Heck,
We call him Shorts Kid because he says, "Hi, I like shorts. They're easy and comfy to wear." Which, same. I'm wearing shorts right now, so I can't complain.
I'm also wearing shorts right now.
Exactly.
Drop a donation if you're also
but
wearing shorts.
Yeah, that's a great idea. If you're wearing shorts, you're obligated to donate right now.
I'm not gonna say legally because, but
Yeah, that's a
you're
gray
legally
area.
obligated
That's a
to
gray
donate.
area. Yeah. You're not illegally obligated to donate. Let's say it that way.
Yeah, you can donate at your own accord, but hopefully your accord tells you to donate.
Exactly. So Shorts Kid is annoying, and it's mainly because of this Ekans right here. This Ekans knows Wrap. Now, Wrap is not a high damaging move, so it's not like we're really in danger of dying. But in Generation 1, if a Pokemon uses Wrap, your Pokemon is not able to do anything, and Wrap can last from 2 to 5 turns. So if we did get Wrap, which luckily we didn't, and I almost always do, so you guys are seeing some good luck on my end, but it could have incapacitated us for 5 turns. It could have caused us to have to heal at some point, but yeah, it just wastes a lot of time. Luckily, we didn't have to deal with it though, so that's nice.
Yeah, Wrap is busted in this game. It's like I wouldn't say a trap. It's like a freeze basically.
Yep. A freeze that has a turn length of at least 2 turns, but up to 5 turns, so it just wastes a lot of time.
Yeah.
We don't love to see it. All right, this trainer is pretty self-explanatory. It can go a little slow if we get overly string shotted. String shot lowers our speed. If our speed gets lower than the Kakuna here, or there's a Metapod at the end of this fight, then they would get a chance to go first, which gives them an opportunity to use Harden before I hit them, which obviously slows things down, means I have to hit them a few extra times. I'm getting really bad rolls here, fortunately. Rolls, so whenever you use a move, there is a value out of 16 possible values that determines how much damage you do per attack. So when I say I'm getting bad rolls, that means that I'm getting a damage roll that is lower than what I would want to have gotten, which means that it's lower on the end of those 16 values. That doesn't mean that there's 16 different health variations that you could see. It just means that, you know, it's a 1 in 16 chance to get a specific value, basically.
Yeah, especially in the early game, it looks more like 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, and then a crit.
Exactly. All right, as long as this Caterpie didn't string shot us twice, it's pretty self-explanatory, this fight as well, which it didn't, so we're pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of the early game, aside from like the Minips, is pretty straightforward.
We're looking okay on Horn Attack. So if things had gone really poorly, there's a Pokemon Center I could have taken before we entered Mount Moon in order for us to recoup not only our health but our moves, our power points for our moves. We want at least 3 Horn Attacks going into Mount Moon just to deal with the trainer later on, which I have exactly 3. It's pretty much the lowest I would want. So we're going to enter the grass here, and we're going to catch a flying Pokemon, which we'll need for later. The reason why we do it here specifically is you have a very high chance of getting a flying Pokemon, which we did. You could get a 5% chance that you get a Jigglypuff instead, but we didn't have to deal with that.
Imagine getting 2 of those in a row.
Yeah, it's happened. It's happened.
Ooh, I'm happy
Alright.
I don't run Gen 1.
Yeah, it's happened. Or what happens a lot, since as you can see, we do weaken the flying Pokemon first just to make the catch more successful. You could crit and kill a flying Pokemon and have to go get a second one. Yeah, there's a lot of things that can happen there. All right, so coming up is Mount Moon. I'm going to enter, I'm going to heal, I'm going to save, and then I'm going to be quiet for a while because it requires a lot of focus. I'm going to heal again since we have the extra anyway. Then I'm going to save here, and then you're not going to hear me talk for a bit.
Good luck.
Thank you. Oh, darn. I know what I did wrong there. I hit an A-frame wrong. It's okay though, we got decently far. So that probably looked a little strange. I obviously did not use a repel of any sort, but I was not hitting any encounters whatsoever. And that is just another RNG manipulation, and this one is just so long and difficult to do that we got a little unlucky. But luckily, we have a backup that starts exactly here. So I'm gonna be quiet again for a second. Excellent. Okay, so we did a backup manipulation, and that Paris is scripted. We want that there. Well, it's not scripted, I should say. I should say that I knew it was coming. I manipulated it to be there. Because we need a Paris for later on. We'll get into that a little bit. But basically, I did a backup manipulation with specific inputs. That one's a lot easier than the first one I did. There's only 2 A presses, but you just have to walk in a specific pattern. And we also manipulate getting that Paris into the ball in the first try. So not too shabby. We are gonna Leer here, actually.
Yeah, isn't the main manipulation like 38 presses or something?
Yeah, it's somewhere around 38 presses, and obviously not walking one tile out of variation, or else you're gonna lose your RNG cycle. So it's very difficult. I probably got through, let me try and count. I probably got through like 18 or 19 of the A presses before I messed up by accident. So it can happen.
Yeah, you got really far and my hands started to get sweaty. I was like, oh, actually gonna do it?
I'm admittedly not the best at doing it. There are people who are a lot better at manipulations than I am. So that's definitely my weakness when it comes to the run. But luckily, we only have one more RNG manipulation the rest of the run, and it's by far the easiest one we do. So we don't have to worry about it too much. The rest is in the Pokemon God's hands, basically.
That means we're gonna get like 8 Gen 1 misses, so...
Probably. Yeah, probably. Okay, so we saved before that Rocket Trainer because it's pretty easy to die there. We're a little bit under-leveled for where we need to be. So, but luckily we got pretty favorable RNG for the fight. Now we rare candy to get Nidorino. Then we're going to teach Nidorino this TM, which I picked up on that path, which is Water Gun. Kind of weird that it can learn Water Gun, but it sure can.
It sure can. Somehow.
Then we go down. We picked up a Moonstone also on the path. We're going to use it on Nidorino, and now it's a Nidoking.
Got a few minutes. We got a donation that came in.
Please.
Sure, we have responding to your request. We have Gambit017 donating $5 saying, "What if I'm wearing pants, not shorts?" Thank you, Gambit.
We'll still take your donation.
Yeah, still donate.
Yeah, that works. You don't always have to tell us what you're wearing when you donate, just to make sure everyone's clear on that. But we do appreciate it. Thank you, Gambit.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for indulging us. All right, so now we fight our... Yeah. we got him. So we fight this Grimer. The only other thing of note besides when we evolved to Nidoking was that we also taught the move Mega Punch, which is an 85% accurate move, which of course means that I've done it 3 times now and it's missed twice.
Yep, we're gonna see that 85% asterisk.
Yep. Yeah, Mega Punch is a very powerful move, so it's definitely worth grabbing because it's gonna save us a lot of time as long as it hits. Even when it misses, it's... Oh yeah, whoops, it's disabled. I keep pressing it though, there we go. So it's definitely worth grabbing because it can one-shot or come close to one-shotting a lot of things in this early game. But we are at the mercy of it being not a 100% accurate move, unfortunately. And there's another miss.
How many sets so far?
That's three misses. Out of 1, 2, 3. We needed it to hit 5 times, and so we did hit 5, but we missed 3 times as well. So
yeah, that's not the 85%.
Yeah, nope. We pick up the Helix Fossil. Shout out to Helix, but it's also just the fastest option. And then we make our way out. Honestly, not a bad Mount Moon. Even though I messed up the first manipulation, I didn't get overly punished for it. I only had 1 extra encounter. So I'll take that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so coming up here is going to be Nugget Bridge, right?
Yeah, we're going to heal, and we're going to activate not a glitch, an exploit of some sort, right before we get to Nugget Bridge. First, we're going to heal, obviously, because we're low health and low on power points for our moves. But also, this is going to establish Cerulean as a home base later for when we need to dig back to it. So that's important.
Which is going to
then we're going... Yeah, we're going to do that for sure. And then we're going to activate an exploit here called Instant Text. It's a somewhat contentious exploit, especially considering that this is the glitchless category. So it was kind of debated when it was discovered as to whether it'd be a glitch or not. But what it is we talk to the bike shop owner there and we mash out of it. And what that does is instead of having the text scroll onto the screen, it now just appears instantly. You can kind of see it there when I picked up the rare candy. Instead of like it, scrolling onto the screen, it picks up instantly. And that actually saves a good amount of time when you have it activated. Now, it's not a glitch because we're not doing anything that the game doesn't intend. You can talk to NPCs, that's pretty normal. But when it comes to racing in this game, it's generally not accepted because there's a lot of variety of failure when it comes to this trick. Because you can lose instant text very, very easily. If you go into any menu at all, so if you need to swap Pokemon, if you need to use an item, if you just press start at all, even if you get a question that you have to answer from an NPC that says yes or no, like going to a Pokemon Center or something like that, you lose it. It's gone. So it's very easy to lose, especially as we're going to be on Nugget Bridge facing a bunch of trainers here. We might have to heal depending on the RNG we get, so we could lose it very easily. Therefore, they kind of take it out in runs in order to make it so that runs don't get out of hand, races rather, don't get out of hand very quickly. But when it comes to like marathon runs, or obviously if you're doing PB or world record attempts, then you're gonna do instant text because you want to go as fast as possible.
Yeah, the luck needed to get to like the end of the route where I think Nidoking learns a move and it would just take it away automatically. Yes. The luck needed to get there is very not favorable. I'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just there are so much so we depend heavily on Mega Punch on this Nugget Bridge and then the route above it. So because that can just miss so often, it's not, there's so much RNG that can take place where we would probably have to lose instant text at some point. It can actually even happen in that first. So we obviously, you saw we fought our friend Delvin there. Delvin leads with a Pidgeotto, which knows Sand Attack. So if we gotten Sand Attacked once, I probably would stick with it just to see if I could hit through, because Sand Attack lowers your accuracy. But if I'd gotten hit with Sand Attack twice, I would have to swap because I'd be missing moves left and right. I wouldn't be able to hit. So I would have lost instant text immediately there if we had gotten overly Sand Attack.
Yeah, Sand Attack in this game isn't fun. I don't remember how the exact like percentages were, but it's not favorable at all.
Yeah, it lowers. So if you have a 100% accurate move and you're Sand Attacked once, it lowers it to 66%. And if you're Sand Attacked twice, it lowers it to a third. So it becomes basically, and as you can see, our 95% accurate moves are missing half the time. So you can imagine how frustrating it is.
Yeah, it's practically impossible.
But it's luckily so far it's going well. Our health is at a decent spot, so it's not too bad. This trainer, we Mega Punch everything. This Ekans is a range, so even when Mega Punch lands, it has a chance of surviving it, but it died anyway. And then let's see how we do on the Zubat. We hit all three, so that's good.
Let's go. Luck.
Not too shabby, not too shabby.
Also, nice HP.
Yep, nice. Absolutely nice. Because we get the same Nidoran every time with the same stats, that is very, we always see that, so that's great. Oh, there's a miss into a Sand Attack, which is really what you don't want to see.
Hate to see it.
So I'm actually gonna we would Mega Punch there because it can one-shot the Pidgey. Obviously it missed, and I'm actually gonna back off a Mega Punch there and Horn Attack it instead because I need to save some Mega Punches for later on in the route, and I don't want to waste them. Not to mention, it's already not a 100% accurate move, so its accuracy is less than a third removed already. It's probably closer to 50% now, and I'm not about that life. So we're just trying to get by. Please let me by, please. Thank you. We missed like 4 Horn Attacks in a row there, 3 or 4 or something like that, but we got by.
Yeah, the PP route, at least in like the early game and some parts of the late game, is pretty specific because you can't use moves infinitely, and you go long stretches of time without healing.
Yeah, ideally we don't heal at all during this whole route, this whole section. We're going to heal at the end of it, either by potions or by using a Pokemon Center. The Pokemon Center is safer but longer. We'll see when I get to the end how I feel. But right now we're still in pretty good shape, so I can't really complain. We still have instant text. We're on the last trainer of Nugget Bridge.
Yeah.
So not too shabby.
At least it didn't die on the bridge.
Yeah. We really don't want to... Obviously, we don't want to die because it's slow, right? But when you die in this game, you lose half your money as well. And we actually have a very specific amount of money that we need to go shopping at probably around the halfway point of the run. So you really don't want to die in the first half because it really throws off your money. We have contingencies if it happens because even with our godly Nidoking here, there are still many places that we can die. And it's out of our control, really. So we have contingencies in place if it happens, but hopefully we don't have to see that. All right, so this Onyx is no problem because we are a Nidoking that learns Water Gun for whatever reason. So bye, Onyx.
I can't get over that.
Don't. Yep, it's weird. Yeah, the moveset is only going to get weirder, gang. So just stick around. This isn't even the full form of how weird it's going to get for Nidoking, so...
Yeah, I don't remember what it's going to be like at the end, but honestly, I don't even want to spoil it at this point. Like, you'll see. Like, things
Alright, we have plenty of Mega Punch. Yeah. Yeah, it only gets weirder, trust me. We have plenty of Mega Punches here, so we're in good shape. We can't one-shot this Nidoran female any way we slice it, even if we Mega Punched it. So we just go for Horn Attack because we have to two-shot it anyway, so... We'd rather go for the 100% accurate move than the not 100% accurate move. That almost was bad, but we saved it. That wouldn't have been too bad. So obviously, what you see here with trainers, if we can talk to the trainer as opposed to walking in front of it, we will. Because even if we walk specifically to the tile in front of it, the animation of the exclamation point going over the head is a lot slower than just talking to it, which when you talk to the trainer, that doesn't occur, obviously. But also, if we walk in front of a trainer from a distance, they move just as slow as our rival does, so half the speed. So we don't want to deal with that if we can avoid it.
Yeah, in some of the newer games, it doesn't matter as much, but
yeah,
in this game, it saves a lot of time.
Yeah, there are some that we can't avoid, or I don't know if you had happened to notice that Rocket trainer that we fought that I saved right before, just after I caught the Paris. No matter if you walk up one tile and talk to that trainer from the side, it will still have an exclamation point over his head. He's just kind of strange. I don't know why. So we just walk in front of it in order to not waste a tile and potentially hit an encounter. So. All right, this is the last trainer on the route. So we did keep instant text all the way through, which is great. The absolute most optimal thing that could have happened is we kept instant text and we entered what we call red bar. So what that means is if our health is lower than 20% of our health, you'll hear that, wee woo sound effect. And in this game, it's actually very important. Oops, hold on, let me just teach this before I screw something up. Okay, so that sound effect, if it's playing, will actually skip the Pokemon cries and level up jingles. So it saves a lot of time being in red bar, and we're gonna see that later on in the run. A good chunk of the end part of the run, we're gonna be in red bar the whole time. So we'll see that a little bit later. But if we were in red bar combined with instant text, we would be flying through these trainers. So, but we didn't get that lucky. Oops. So it doesn't matter if you hit yes or no for Bill here, but no has 2 extra text boxes, and I hit B instead of A by accident. But that's okay. So you got to see Bill talk a little extra.
For the fans.
For the fans. All right, so we go and talk to Bill. He's gonna give us our SSN ticket. As you can see, we don't have instant text now because we had to answer a yes or no question where Nidoking learned Thrash. Oops, I talked to Bill twice. Man, Bill's crushing me. All right. All right. I'm gonna do something a little, it's not risky per se because we have a lot of extra Mega Punches. So, but typically what we would do here is we would actually take in a marathon setting, is we'd actually take a Pokemon Center. Because you don't have to, it would heal not only our health, but completely heal our power points as well. But it's a little bit slower, and I have a lot of extra Mega Punches, so I'm actually not going to take the Pokemon Center here. I'm going to just heal it off, get instant text again, and we have to fight one trainer before we go into Misty's gym just to get some better experience for the Misty fight itself. So we're gonna detour, we're gonna go in this house which has been robbed by, of course, Team Rocket, so we're gonna come around and fight this trainer. We'd have to fight this trainer anyway. In terms of physical movement routing, it's faster to do it after Misty because we have to come back this way anyway. But we need to be specifically at least level 25 for Misty's Starmie. So we take this early in order to fight this trainer to get the experience. And then Misty has 2 Pokemon, a Staryu and a Starmie. After we defeat the Staryu, we level up to 25. The reason we need to be level 25 specifically is at level 25 we will outspeed the Starmie, which obviously Starmie can really mess us up, and even with us outspeeding it, Starmie can still mess us up. So we'll see what we get here, but yeah, it's if we were not faster than the Starmie, we'd have like no shot of defeating it. So
yeah, Starmie is really dangerous.
Very much so. We have this one trainer here. It has a Goldeen. The only annoying thing that can happen here is that Goldeen can use Supersonic, I think, because it takes 2 shots unless we crit, which can confuse us, and obviously that's not good. Luckily, we just got Tail Whip, so who cares? And now we take on Misty.
Yeah, dying to Misty would be really bad, so hopefully we don't die to Misty.
And there is no joke here. There's not a good possibility, but there is a possibility that I die here. Decently strong, I would say. Misty can do a lot of things with Starmie here, so we'll see. Water Gun is the best. That's what we want. Even if Water Gun hit crit there, we'd be fine. So that was the best case scenario, luckily. So we have 3 options of what Misty can do there. So we can get Water Gun, which is perfectly fine, actually. Even if I actually would have preferred if we had gotten crit, because our health would be a little bit lower, so it would get us potential red bar for later on. But it's fine. I'd still rather be alive, so that's good. She can also use Bubble Beam. Bubble Beam is the worst option because Bubble Beam is a very powerful attack. Now we were pretty high health, so even if Bubble Beam had crit, we probably would have survived with like a tiny bit of health. But Bubble Beam has an extra effect that it gives us a chance to potentially lower our speed. If our speed gets lowered even by 1 point, we're going to be slower than Starmie. That means the next turn, Starmie would get to attack first and would just kill us.
Yeah.
So, and not to mention, we're using Thrash there. Thrash is a very powerful move, but we can't exit a Thrash cycle. It's a 3 to 4 turn attack in Gen 1. And once we use Thrash, we can't do anything else. We can't like swap Pokemon, we can't use items, we can't do anything. So once Thrash is there, it's over. So Starmie would outspeed us and would kill us, and there's nothing we could do about it because we would just be stuck in a Thrash loop. But the third option that she could do is use X Defend on Starmie after the hit, which means that we would Thrash hit her again, but it would survive. So we would have to 3-hit the Starmie, which if we get a 4-turn Thrash, not a problem. But it's RNG coin flip basically as to if we would get a 3 or 4-turn Thrash there. If we had gotten a 3-turn Thrash, we would be confused. So that's what happens with Thrash. After the Thrash cycle ends, your Pokemon is confused. Obviously, we don't want to be confused because it's a coin flip as to whether you'll hit the Pokemon or hit yourself. And we don't want to damage ourselves because then we'd probably die.
Yeah, there's a lot of coin flips in this game, and they add up quickly.
Yes, they sure do. So if that had happened, if we had gotten X Defend, and then I had only gotten a 3-turn Thrash, I would have swapped Pokemon, because when you swap out and back in, your confusion goes away. You don't have to use an item to heal it. But because I would have swapped, I would have lost Instant Text. So I would have to have picked it up again. I would have survived that fight, but it would have been slow, basically. But we got Water Gun, fastest option. We're just coasting through these trainers, which are of no consequence to us. We get trolled by that NPC there. We love to see it. And then we're gonna head down to the SSN.
SSN is pretty straightforward. I don't remember exactly what you do, but you do like a thing and then watch the boat leave for like a minute.
Yeah, it's so the only thing, we do not go in any side room. You know, if you played this game casually, part of the fun of SSN is going in all these side rooms, fighting all these trainers, seeing all these items you can pick up and all this. We don't do any of that. We get right to the point where we walk straight to the end where we have to fight our rival. So Delvin's coming back up for a 3rd time, and then we have to go talk to the cut master to get cut, and then we just leave. That's it.
This rival guy is so confident for like constantly losing. He's like, I'm gonna beat you this time. I'm gonna beat you this time. No, you're not.
Not only that, when he loses, he's still like, you need more work. you need some more help. Doesn't make sense. I'm stomping you.
Yeah, like didn't you take like no damage basically?
Yeah.
Just like
Now this fight is. Yeah, well, so that fight can be dangerous. He could have stomped us with the Pidgeotto's sand attack. It's all about Pidgeotto, really. Luckily, and this fight can happen the same way as well. But both of those fights, we got pretty favorable Pidgeottos, so you can't complain. But so that means I absolutely stomped him both times. And going forward, we're going to absolutely wreck our rival pretty much every time, without any chance of him returning the favor. Excellent. So the only bad downside to how everything's going right now is my health is a little high. I wanted it to be lower to potentially get red bar, but again, you know what's good about that is that I'm alive, so we love that. All right, so we massage the Cut Master's back while he's throwing up into a trash can, and he is very grateful for that, so he gives us the HM for cut.
Isn't he like driving the ship?
You would think. Well, luckily right now it's not moving. We're docked, so he's just in his office.
He's seasick and
throwing up.
This guy is not.
He's seasick. He's seasick when the boat isn't moving, and he's a captain of a boat as his job. So a lot of things wrong there.
Yeah, this guy's not cut out to be sailing ships.
Yeah. This is one of the very few input breaks in the run where you don't have to press anything. We just wave goodbye to the SSN as it drives away for 10 seconds or so.
The rest of the game is just straight movement.
Yeah, we're just moving, we're fighting, we're doing stuff. There is one other part I can think of that I don't have to press anything for like 6 or 7 seconds probably. Okay, so we're now gonna lose instant text, and we're not gonna get it again for the rest of the run. But it's for a good cause because we need to pick up some important items here. We pick up repels, obviously that repels wild Pokemon, which will be very useful. We also pick up some paralyze heals, which is purely a safety route thing because there are quite a few Pokemon here that can paralyze us. And then we have a little bit of an extensive menu here. We're going to teach a lot of moves to different Pokemon here. Like I said, the moveset gets weirder as now Nidoking learns Bubble Beam.
Somehow. I don't understand.
Somehow Nidoking learns Bubble Beam. And now we're seeing why Paris is so important, because Paris can learn Cut, but Paris can also learn Dig. It's the only accessible Pokemon that we can get that does that. So that is why we really want a Paris. So it can learn both. And then we're going to be doing our last RNG manipulation of the game. So I'm just going to focus for just 1 second. It's very quick. Okay, it's over. That's it. So what we did there, if you've played this game casually or recently or anything like that, you know that this puzzle is kind of annoying. You have to find 2 switches in all of these trash cans for Lieutenant Surge in order for the doors to unlock so you can fight Surge. We do an RNG manipulation to make it so the 2 switches are right next to each other at the very beginning, so we don't have to worry about that. That's all it is.
Yeah, I hope you
because
guys
otherwise
take, like a 20-second blink. It was very quick.
Yeah, it's very important. If we did not RNG manip that pattern, we could be here for minutes just trying to figure out the puzzle because it's all RNG based. It's just wherever there is a pattern. So like if you would know where the switches could be, depending on where the first switch you find is. There's only a few of the cans that it could be, but it's still like 6 options from that point, and then you guess wrong, and then it all starts over and RNG resets. So it's definitely important to do.
Yeah, especially when Red was in game time and you weren't allowed to do like manips. Ooh, it was not.
Yeah.
It was not fun.
Yeah. Like Ness said, this game used to be timed with the in-game timer, and you couldn't save and quit. So we did not have RNG manipulation then. It was just based on hopefully you got a Nidoran that was good enough to run, and then things went well after that. That's all you could really hope for.
Yeah, but in honor of us not getting instant text anymore, hopefully you guys can donate, and your messages just don't have spaces, so then we can make our donation reader have instant text. Hopefully
that is
like
an excellent idea. I love that.
Please don't ban me, please.
So for whatever reason, this game is a little bit broken, and you can dig out of so many buildings. It doesn't make sense. You might have also noticed when we were talking to our friend Bill at the top, I had grabbed an escape rope from all the way back in Mount Moon, and I used the escape rope in Bill's house. So this game is just a little bit weird as to whether you can escape from it, like using dig or an escape rope or whatever. It doesn't really make sense, but we exploit that as much as we can. So, of course, our Nidoking is going to now learn Thunderbolt.
Somehow.
Somehow, it just makes sense. It just makes sense.
It's a ground poison type.
A ground poison type, and it knows a water. Right now, it knows a water move, an electric move, a normal move, and what's the other one? And two normal moves, because Thrash and Mega Punch are both normal type moves.
Yeah. How?
And it still is gonna get weirder. Y'all just hang on. It's gonna get weirder. All right, so this trainer, we call her 4-turn Thrash Girl because we used to depend on getting a 4-turn Thrash here. But ever since we altered the route to have Mega Punch, we would just Mega Punch the first Oddish and then Thrash the rest. So now we don't have the RNG coin flip of hopefully getting a 4-turn Thrash. We get it, every time. Of course, there's the option that Mega Punch can just miss. So we can't really control that, but...
Also, Thrash can miss.
Yeah. Thrash can get that crucial Gen 1 miss. Hopefully, again, that we don't see it. Or if we do see it, it's at a point that it's not, of consequence. But you never know. Alright, so we're making our way to Lavender Town and Celadon, and we're going to go through Rock Tunnel. And if you've played this game before, Rock Tunnel is a completely darkened cave, so you're meant to use Flash so you can see your way through. However, the good thing about Rock Tunnel is that it never changes when you play a new file. So if you're, cool like me, I guess, you just know where everything is, and you just do it, and you don't have to get Flash. Not only do you not have to get Flash, you probably couldn't anyway. Our Pokedex, as we end this game, will only have, I think, 6 entries.
I was thinking,
and you need to, yeah, it's 6 or 7. I can't remember. We'll see at the end. But you need to have caught 10 Pokemon to get Flash. So we can't get it even if we wanted to.
Or you can just get the Gamer Flash, which is called Cheater Palette, but...
Oh yeah, no, but that requires saving and quitting. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, we're gamers here.
Yeah, we're gamers. So we're now in Rock Tunnel. Obviously, you can see it's very dark here. But I'm just gonna know my way around. That's it. Now my health is a little bit high. I'm gonna do something a tiny bit risky. We'll see how it goes. I'm actually gonna take some purposeful damage here and see how I feel about it. I'm gonna Bubble Beam this Slowpoke, which is obviously not a good idea if you're trying to live. He's gonna use Confusion. I'm actually gonna risk it and try it again, because he's gonna use Confusion again.
I'm expecting.
Perfect. Well, the crit is actually what I wasn't worried about. I think I would have survived the crit even on the second hit. I think I might have died, but whatever. I was actually more worried about being confused than anything.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking of that, like, it being way too close anyways.
Yeah, but luckily we got 2 hits, neither of them crit. Slowpoke, the reason why we don't worry about a crit as much is because Slowpoke is obviously one of the slowest Pokemon there is. And in Gen 1, your speed plays a big factor into whether or not you crit or not. So Slowpoke here has like a 2% or 3% chance to crit or something like that. It's not favorable. So I wasn't really worried about getting crit on, but I was worried about getting confused. We're gonna save here because this trainer has an Oddish, which is probably the hardest Pokemon in the game. I say that ironically, but unironically, just because their Oddish can just be so trolly in this game, just based on where we see them. Luckily, this one isn't. So we use Thrash on that Oddish, and it's range. It's probably like close to 50% range. It's almost a coin flip. So if we don't kill that Oddish in one shot, it could use a variety of different moves. Absorb would have been perfectly fine. Poison Powder would have been perfectly fine because we're poison types, so therefore we can't be poisoned. But it also knows Stun Spore and Sleep Powder, which would obviously just ruin our day. We don't have Stun Spore would have been okay because we have Paralyze Heals. But Sleep Powder, we would have had to have just waited till we weren't asleep anymore. That's all we could have done.
Yeah, we'd have to wait.
And
for, like,
probably would have died.
And then 2 turns sleep.
Yeah, 2 to 5 turns. 2 to 5 turn, 1 to 5 or 2 to 5, I can't remember. Either way, and we probably would have died anyway because our health was so low, so.
Yeah.
That's why I saved there.
I did find this out from Uconception, actually, though. If you save and quit when you have a repel active, you're going to have to reactivate the repel because it doesn't save the repel state.
Correct. Yeah, so if I had died at that trainer and then reloaded and then beat her, I would have had to use a repel immediately after the fight as opposed to when I did, because when you reload a game, it does not keep your repel tiles active. It eliminates it. Which would have been fine. We still have enough repel tiles to go around, so it's not a big deal, but that is just a little fun fact.
Yeah, it's not something I knew, at least.
Yeah, just a fun fact. Just a fun fact for you on this beautiful Sunday. All right, so our health is actually in pretty good shape. You can hear, obviously now we're in red bar, so you can see whenever a Pokemon pops up, it's instant. Like, as opposed to me having to wait for the Pokemon cry to play out, then I get to choose my move or whatever, it just goes right to it. And if I level up during this thing, I don't have to wait for the whole level up jingle and all of that. It saves a lot of time. More time than you can really even imagine.
Yeah, like each cry is like a second or so. And we fight so many Pokemon. It's insane.
Yeah. Oops. There we go. All right. So, and obviously staying in red bar is really good. As long I got it early into Rock Tunnel, which is nice. I could have gotten red bar as early as from Surge if things had gone well, or even during our rival fight on the boat could have happened. Obviously, having red bar that whole time would have been great, but it's more risky, especially with Surge, because we would have had to, if our health was, below 20, we would have had to have hoped for a 4-turn Thrash on Surge to make things okay. And we also would have had to have hoped that his Pikachu probably didn't quick attack. So there's a lot more RNG involved in that, but it would have saved time if it had gone well. But we're still in pretty good shape. I'm gonna listen for a sound cue here for a second. Missed it by 1 tile. That's okay.
I was very close.
Oh, I missed this one. There we go. So yeah, we pick up 2 hidden items there. I was hopeful to be pretty swaggy and get them without looking like a fool stumbling around there, but it's okay. We got them. We pick up an elixir, which heals all of our moves' power points, which is obviously going to be very important. And we also pick up a nugget, and that is just so we can sell it for extra money. And now is our extensive shopping trip of the game.
Yeah,
we're gonna buy TM07. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say money's kind of important in this route because our character is like 11 and kind of a kid. We start off with like very little, and we need a lot of money to do this extensive shopping trip. And if we
buy a lot of stuff. And this is buying revives here is unique to the marathon safety. In a PB attempt, we obviously would not be buying revives because we're going to be banking on us not dying. But now that I have the revives, I feel a lot safer because I can have 2 things go wrong and be fine because now I can revive myself, so it's not a big deal. So whenever I get to this point, there's always like a burden lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah, it's like the hour barrier where everything else just it feels a lot easier.
This little girl trolling me right here. Just trying to give you a soda. All right, so we give the little girl a soda pop specifically because she gives us TM48. TM48 is for rock, throw. I always forget if it's rock smash or rock throw. I think it's rock throw, which will be important for just a few fights.
I know it's a rock move. I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, I never looked that closely, and we want 7 here.
Wait, is it rock slide?
Maybe it's rock. Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
Okay.
Rock slide sounds right.
I had to like think back to like my stadium runs.
You'll see why I don't really pay attention to it, and that is because we use it only like for like 3 trainers and it's gone. We don't need to use it for a lot, but it's crucial for what we do use it for. All right, so that was our shopping trip. I'll go into a little bit more in depth as to what we just bought when we get into the next section of the run. I just need to focus on a extensive menu coming up here in a second, and then we can dive into it a little bit. But what we're doing here is we're actually heading to this house here, and she is going to give us the HM for fly. All right, and I'm just going to focus on this menu 1 second. Okay, that's it. The only reason why I like to focus on it is that there's a lot of moving pieces. As you can see, I'm moving things in my bag up and down, and that is just because we want the items in our bag that we're going to use most often near the top, so we don't have to continuously scroll. I just wanted to make sure that I got everything right there, and obviously to do it as fast as I could. But there isn't really anything of note there. We taught Rock Slide over Mega Punch, so now we don't have to deal with that anymore. Rock Slide is a 90% accurate move. So it's still not 100, but it's a slightly more than Mega Punch.
Yeah, in the new games, you don't really have to worry about messing with the bag too much because everything just like gets auto sorted into like the different categories. But in this game, there isn't like infinite menu backspace, and you have to like move stuff around. And there's like no registering items to the select button.
Mm-hmm. So if you're used to playing higher gen games and you like the idea of like, oh, I can just press select in order to use my bike, we cannot in this game. Every time we want to use our bike, we have to press start. And then just go into our bike, which is exactly why our bike is at the top of our menu, because that is the item we're going to use very often. Obviously, we're fighting our rival here, and our rival was not a danger to us this time, because we just one-shot the Pidgeotto out front with Thunderbolt, so even if it had tried to attempt to use Sand Attack, it would not have gotten away with it, so not a big deal at all. Now, if you're somebody who plays this game casually, you might be thinking, hey, Conception is going a little out of order here, right? Like, how are we in Lavender Tower already? We haven't gone to the game corner to get the Sylph Scope so we can see the ghosts in the tower. And you're right. We have performed what we call a sequence break here. And the reason how we're going to be able to do this is, one, we use a Super Repel. So therefore, any Pokemon, any wild ghost Pokemon that would pop up in the tower, or no, I'm not going to pop up because we repelled, so they're not going to show up. And the second thing is, well, you might be asking, what about the Marowak that's at the end that you're supposed to, the mother of Cubone that needed to be laid to rest and stuff like that? That's still going to show up as a ghost. And you're right, it is. But there is a sequence break here where we can use a Pokédoll, which I just bought in the Celadon shop there. And a Pokédoll is an item that enables you to run away from any Pokemon no matter what. So we're going to use a Pokédoll there to escape, because we obviously can't attack the ghost or try to catch it or do anything like that. And that enables us to move past. Oops. Oh boy. All right, my movement's a little wonky here. There we go. This enables us to skip the entire game corner, going underneath the game corner, fighting all those rockets, seeing Giovanni for the first time. We skip that whole sequence, which saves probably about 15 minutes. It saves quite a bit of time, somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes is what it saves. So we get to just bypass all that.
Yeah. If you're like not completely understanding like the significance of that, like this is like around a 2-hour run, and 15 minutes is a very good chunk of that. And like in Generation
Yeah.
2, imagine if you can skip going to like the radio tower and just like do like the basement of like Mahogany Town. Like that's what it's like. It saves a lot of time.
Sure does. As you can see, obviously as well, we talked about Rock Slide being useful here, and Rock Slide is the move that we're going to use to defeat these Ghastlies. But now we don't have to fight any more trainers with Ghastlies in this tower, so we're going to get rid of it immediately. So again, that's why I was like, oh yeah, I don't remember what it's called, because it comes as quickly as it goes, basically. And we're going to what we're teaching over it is a move called Horn Drill. If you're familiar with Horn Drill is a coin flip move. Its accuracy is 50%, but if it hits, it's a one-hit KO guaranteed. I'm gonna menu here. I just have to focus on this for 1 second. Repels. There we go. Here we go. So if Horn Drill hits, it will KO the Pokemon no matter what health they're at, no matter what level they're at, blah, blah, blah. I also bought some other items while we were shopping, and those are X items. I bought X accuracies, X specials, and X speeds. X accuracy is absolutely busted in this game, because instead of just raising the accuracy of a move, so say you had a move that was, you know, like if we use Mega Punch, 85% accurate, instead of increasing its accuracy by 10 or 20%, it will just make its accuracy 100% guaranteed. And that includes the Gen 1 misses. It makes it so you cannot Gen 1 miss. You can't. And it doesn't matter what the accuracy of the move is at all. It will just automatically increase it to 100% accuracy. So as you can imagine, what we end up doing is we combine our X accuracies with our Horn Drills, making Horn Drill now a 100% accurate move to get some key KOs. And we're gonna see that right now at the second trainer. This trainer has a Coughing and a Drowsy, Pokemon that are just kind of annoying to deal with. Like, we'd be fine if we dealt with them normally, but it's just a little bit slower. So we're gonna use X accuracy, Horn Drill, and it's gonna hit every time, one hit KO style. Oh, you might have also noticed that I am on full health for some reason right now, and that is because there's a little healing pad that we walked over in the middle. There is a long about way that we could have walked around it, but we had to have fought an extra trainer, and it just makes it extra risky because that trainer has a Haunter. And a Haunter isn't, if we miss Rock Slide, I think it actually even takes 2 Rock Slides to kill, so it's a lot more risky, and it's not worth it. And us having red bar for these few trainers doesn't matter because we're going to take a center after this anyway, so not too bad. All right, and then we just thrash these last 2 Pokemon, and then that's it. The reason, so as you can see, so you might be wondering, this trainer has 4 Pokemon, and so we Thunderbolt the first Zubat because it's going to go down one shot. You might be thinking, well, why don't you use Thrash from that Rattata so it takes out the last 3? And that is exactly why. You actually got to see why we don't. It's because that Raticate is actually arranged to die to Thrash. It's very favorable. I think it's in the 90%. So the fact that we didn't get it is very rare. But there is a chance that you would have to hit that Raticate, which is why we don't go guarantee for a 3-turn Thrash from Rattata, because we might have to bank out a 4-turn Thrash at that rate, which we don't want to deal with. All right, but that's Pokeflute. We're gonna fly back to Celadon here. We are going to take this Pokemon Center, not because we need to heal or really do anything. The only useful thing for healing is that it makes it so Horn Drills replenish, and you only have 5 PP for Horn Drill, so that's nice. But our health was fine. The main reason why we take that center is because it's now a home base for us to dig back to. All right, we bought a fresh water also while we were shopping in order to please these guards. And we're actually heading over to Silphco. We're gonna do that first before we move on to any other gyms. You're gonna notice that this run is very front loaded. So I only have 3 badges right now, and we're already at an hour, 9 minutes into the run roughly. So you're probably like, wow, we're already halfway through the run, but you only have 3 badges, like what gives? And that is because we front load a lot of the story elements here, and then we just kind of go on a boss rush towards the end, where we fight like a bunch of gyms in a row. So that's all we're doing. We're just kind of, once you pass Vermilion, your path really opens up as to what you can do. Obviously, the game has a intended sequence where you go, you know, Celadon, then Fuchsia, then Saffron, then Cinnabar Island, and then your last gym. But those middle gyms you can really take in whatever order you want as long as you can survive. And because we have such a strong Pokemon here, we can pretty much survive anything. So we just kind of take it in the fastest possible order. All right, so we fight that trainer. It's actually the only like trainer on the floors that we really have to worry about. Oops, that's fine. I meant to go down then up, but that's right. We get the card key, so now we can go through these doors. And then we're gonna fight our friend, the rival here shortly, Delvin, coming at us again and again and again. But Delvin is not gonna be a problem for us here at all. And you'll see why shortly. Now we purposely walk 1 tile up here when we get to this portal, and that is because, as you'll see after the fight, our rival is going to take the portal to exit. If we had just walked straight over to the left, you'd have to walk around us to get to the portal, but because we took a tile up, he can walk straight. It just saves us. It saves like 3 tiles worth of movement for the slow rival.
Certified Pokemon movement right there.
That's right. So we're here. We're going to use an X accuracy. We're also going to use an X speed because there are some Pokemon later on that would be faster than us. And then I almost used Thrash. I don't know why. We're going to Horn Drill. That would have been terrible if we had used Thrash. And we're going to Horn Drill, and we can just Horn Drill everything because our accuracy is 100%, and we are now faster than all the rivals Pokemon, so it has no chance of living. Ooh, yeah. Almost done there. It's gonna have what's the second to last? Alakazam and then Venusaur. The Alakazam is the one that has the high speed. Venusaur is obviously it's not super slow, but it's not super fast. Alakazam has a high speed, but it's also, I like to call it a glass cannon because Alakazam can do a ton of damage and is very fast, but it has very low defense, and we use a lot of physical moves as Nidoking. So we can just take out, as long as we can outspeed the Alakazam, we can take out the Alakazam very simply.
I don't remember exactly what Alakazam's speed looks like, but it's not like super notable.
Yeah, it's decently fast, considering that we have a Nidoran that has pretty much the highest possible speed it could get. It's pretty fast, but it's not like the fastest Pokemon in the game or anything. But it's just faster than the best Nidoran, basically, unfortunately. Oops. So we're doing a purposeful stall here in order to take some damage. So I used an Ether on Horn Drill in order to replenish Horn Drill's power point, so now it's back to full. And then I kill the Cubone, and then I'm actually going to use an X accuracy on the Drowsy in hopes that it uses Psychic, which it did. So that's good, and it's going to give us a nice chunk of health out there, which is fine. We did get a special fall there, but it doesn't matter. We're using a physical move that one-hit KOs anyway. So we're in pretty good shape, health-wise. We wanted our health to be a bit low, so and you'll see why a little later on. All right, so we fight the Rocket. Now we get to see Giovanni for the second time, the first time. And I say that because we're in the store. We're meant to have already fought Giovanni once, but we skipped that whole game corn. So he knows us already, but we have yet to meet him. So We use an X accuracy here again. And it actually puts us into red bar, which is really good. So we're gonna save a little bit of time here. It's kind of what you want to see in terms of time save.
More like we kind of love to see it.
You love to see it. You love to see it. The only reason why you don't absolutely love to see it is because one fight is now going to be a little bit risky later on, because of our health being so low. But we have revives for that very reason. So
We're just gamer enough. It doesn't matter. We're fine.
it doesn't matter. Yeah. Everything is fine.
If nothing bad happens, no one needs to know. It's fine.
Exactly. So now that Giovanni is defeated, this whole tower is now empty of Team Rocket presence, so there are no more rocket trainers or anything like that. We can kind of move a little bit freely, which is good because we do need to make one pit stop in Silphco before we leave to pick up a couple of cool items. They're on the 10th floor, so we're going to take the elevator because it's fastest.
Is that cool pit stop getting a Lapras?
I wish it was getting a Lapras. Unfortunately, we don't need a Lapras at all because we already got a water Pokemon, so... But shoutouts to Lapras, very good Pokemon. Wish it was useful in the run, but we got to go fast here, so.
Just do alt main Lapras runs.
Yeah, easy. Alt main Lapras runs halfway through a run.
Same thing.
It's a good idea. All right, so now we, for some reason, again, we can dig out of Silphco. It doesn't make sense. I don't know why you can dig out of buildings, but you can. And then we're gonna head over here to our big boy Snorlax. We're gonna use a super repel here. Since we have to scroll down anyway, we're gonna swap our rare candies up because we're gonna use those not too long from now. Then we're gonna use the Poke Flute to wake up our big boy Snorlax. If you're hopeful that we are going to fight or catch Snorlax, I'm sorry to disappoint you. We're just gonna run from it.
We do not need the experience.
Nope.
Plus, my boy's a chonker. Just let him vibe.
Yeah, just let him vibe. I wish I could just leave him be, but he's in my way, unfortunately.
Sad.
All right, so the reason why we super repel is purely to go into this grass and get that hidden rare candy. And now this is my second little input break, because as you go down Cycling Road here, you do not need to hold down, it just does it for you. So I get to relax my hands for like, 7-8 seconds, something like that, in 10 seconds maybe. Oops, I relaxed too much. There we go. That's all right, nothing bad happened, just wasting a little time there.
We had too much fun.
I was doing a hand stretch and then it came up on me a little fast, but that's okay. All right, and we get another menu here. We need to scroll down again, so we're gonna swap up our X specials, and then we're gonna use our TM26, which is for Earthquake. At least this move makes sense.
Yeah. Ground type. Like, stab, high power. What's there not to love?
Yeah. Yeah, and it makes sense for Nidoking to be able to learn it. He's a ground type, learning a ground type move, easy. Even Rock Slide, you kind of get, right?
Yeah.
It's not a rock. He's not a rock type, but like it feels thematic. Like it makes sense.
Yeah. And then there's like Bubble Beam. From where?
Bubble Beam, right now. Yeah. From where? Right now. Yeah. Right now, Horn Drill obviously makes sense. He's got a horn. Earthquake makes sense. He's a ground type. And then the other two moves are Thunderbolt and Bubble Beam. If you're keeping up. So we're gonna be getting another move soon that also is just not gonna make any sense. But first, we got a pit stop in the Safari Zone. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the run because it's just so chill. It doesn't make sense from a like a Pokemon trainer perspective because we use a repel as soon as we get in. So we're not trying to catch anything here. We just need to get some key items that are at the end. But I just like the smooth bike movement and cruising through the grass and all that. It's just a nice time.
Yeah, actually going to the Safari Zone is one of the hardest money checkpoint requirements. So you have to play perfectly. You cannot die once. You have to get instant text all the way through. Sir, I don't even know.
Yeah, only true gamers can get here is what Ness is trying to say.
Yeah. Only.
Which is obviously false. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah. But you may be like,
so
you're like an hour 20 into the run. You have like a badge, 2 badges.
Yeah,
the estimate's 2 hours. Pick up the pace, buddy.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm going as fast as I can.
Yeah. So what we were doing, probably for like the entire like mid game, was just like an insane amount of setup, so we can pretty much rapid fire the end game, and that's where this route really shines. Like everything just like manages to like barely work out.
All right, so we dig out of the Safari Zone again. Doesn't make sense. That one is just in wide open air that we dig out of, so I don't know why that works. And then we fly back to Fuchsia because we've been here now, so we didn't have to use the Pokemon Center. As long as we're in the town, it will enable us to fly there. And then now we're decently close to the gym, and here we are. We're in Koga's gym.
This is the beginning of the end.
Again, yeah, again, we're doing things out of order. Like I mentioned before, we did the first 3 badges in order. We get Brock, Misty, Surge. The game wants you to go to Erica next, but we're not doing that. We skip Erica, we go to Koga. And then we'll go back to Erica, but then we're gonna do Blaine, and then we're gonna do Sabrina. So things get a little bit wonky in terms of intended route, but it's the fastest way we can do it. So.
Yeah.
All right, so this juggler was nothing. This is fine. We just one-shot everything. This next juggler that we're gonna fight is the scary trainer I was referencing earlier. This trainer has a Drowsy and a Hypno. The Drowsy is nothing. We one-shot it, but the Hypno is what can give us problems because our health is so low. Half the moves that and we can't one-shot it unless we get a crit. So half the moves that the Hypno could use will probably kill us. So we're gonna hope we get a little lucky here. The Drowsy is fine. Bye. And here's Hypno. So we're hoping for a crit or for it to use one of 2 moves that wouldn't kill us. Perfect. Excellent. I didn't even need to use Earthquake twice. I got a little overzealous, but it doesn't really matter. It's faster to use Thunderbolt there because Thunderbolt has a faster animation, but it's fine. All right. So that was the scary one, but we fly right by it because we're gaming. And now we're fighting Koga. And Koga, pretty easy. Nothing bad can happen. We definitely won't die or anything, so. All right, so coughing, one shot. Nothing. This is nothing. Muck, we're gonna one shot. And then you got another coughing. We're gonna one shot. I'm feeling a little confident, so I'm gonna use an item that I would use later on, early, and just to get us up, just to try and get us to save some time here. Oh no! Oh no! Self-destruct. So one thing that Weezing could have used that would have killed us. This is terrible.
Oh, no.
I mean, we still won the fight.
So
We still won the fight, so I guess that's good.
I guess so.
But, oh man, this is terrible. Except it's not. Fooled you all. That was intended. We wanted to die there. You got. You all have to donate because we fooled you.
Yeah.
So that was in the bylaws. That is a purposeful death that we want to take there for a few reasons. One, it's obviously fast. Oops, I didn't mean to get on the bike yet, but that's fine. 2, we have a bunch of these rare candies. Obviously, our Nidoking fainted, so we didn't get experience, but that's fine. We don't need it. We're going to use rare candies. As you can see, every time you level up, your HP gains. It gains, by like 3 or 4 points, rather. For whatever reason, also when you level up, the amount of health that you gain from leveling up, you're also replenished. So when you use rare candy, it acts as a revive in a sort of way. And it makes our health low while we gained, 3 levels just now. So as you can imagine, we are going to be in red bar for a good chunk of time now because our health is so low. So it works out. Here we are back home. Gonna ignore mom for a little bit. We're gonna go use the super repel, and then we're gonna scroll all the way down, teach surf to our boy Squirtle. We're gonna surf on Squirtle, and then we're gonna make the long and arduous trek over to Cinnabar Island. And by long and arduous, I mean we have to go left 1 tile, and then we're there, as long as we hold straight down.
Yeah,
So it's nothing.
I don't want to use the F word, but the Koga fight, pretty free. I'm sorry, I used
Definitely free.
but I had to say it. It had to be done.
Yeah, the Koga fight itself is free. The only scary part about that whole gym is actually the trainer before it. The trainer before it is the actual scary one. And usually my health is a little bit higher there, so that trainer isn't typically scary. It can use Headbutt or Confusion, and then the other moves it knows is Disable and Poison Gas, that Hypno. So Headbutt actually would have killed me there too, which is unusual because Headbutt doesn't do a lot of damage, but my health was so low that it would have killed me. So I didn't want to see Headbutt. Confusion obviously would have killed because it's super effective against us. So definitely didn't want to see that. But yeah, we got lucky, got Disable, and then it's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, actually, fun fact about that gym. There is a Super Monkey Ball 2 custom stage that uses that exact like layout with like invisible walls.
Yeah, you told me about that last time. I still haven't checked it out. I got to do that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Okay, so now we're doing a little bit of a menu here. We taught Surf to Squirtle. We're actually also going to teach Strength to Squirtle. He's a strong little turtle boy. And we picked up a TM for Blizzard, and we're going to teach that to Nidoking, obviously, because that makes sense.
How?
We're going to teach it over Bubble Beam, so, you know, it's fine. We don't have to worry about Bubble Beam anymore. All right, and then there we are. This is the final moveset for Nidoking, though. So our final moveset is Horn Drill, Earthquake, Thunderbolt, and Blizzard. That's what we're going to end the game with.
Half of that makes no sense.
Yep, it's weird, but that's exactly why Nidoking is the fastest Pokemon to use. Weird movesets, really good stats. It's a match made in heaven. All right, so the only thing we need to worry about doing here is coming into this gym and coming into this Pokemon Mansion rather, and then getting the secret key, which will allow us to get into Blaine's gym later on. So we just do that now, but what we're gonna do actually is go fight Erica now because we dig out of it. Again, doesn't make sense, but we can. We dig out of there, and then we're gonna go fight Erica now. And this begins like the real boss rush part. We've basically done every other story sequence we have to do. So we're just gonna go gym to gym to gym and just defeat fools.
Yeah, there's really no other way to put it. We're just gonna go from gym to
defeat
gym.
fools.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we only have to fight 2 trainers in Erica's gym, this beauty, and then Erica. This beauty is very easy to kill. It has 1 Pokemon, it's an Execute. We're just gonna Blizzard. Now, in later gens, Blizzard is a not very accurate move. I wanna say it's like 70 or 75%. In Gen 1, it is a 95% accurate move, so similar to Tackle. So pretty good, and it's super powerful, so we'd love to see that. Obviously, it being an Ice-type move is very good against these Grass-type Pokemon, so that's good. Despite all that, Erica has 3 Pokemon here. We're only going to use Blizzard once because the other 2 are also poison types. So we're going to use Earthquake because that'll kill, and that's a 100% accurate move. So Tangela is the one we have to Blizzard, so we always hope it hits, which is good. And Vileplume, we go back to Earthquake. And besides, yeah, as long as you don't miss a Blizzard or miss input, Erica's free as well. And the next gym we're gonna fight is Blaine and Cinnabar Island. And that fight is truly free unless you make a mistake inputting. Like, you can't mess it up otherwise. All right. So we head there. The only thing of note about the gym itself is that if, you probably are aware of it if you've played it casually, you have to answer all of these trivia questions beforehand, which we obviously want to answer correctly because we don't want to fight trainers we don't have to at this point. It's annoying because it gives the same spiel for every trivia box that we have to talk to. Pokemon trivia time, get it right and move on, get it wrong and face a trainer. If you want to save your Pokemon for the next fight, then get it right, basically, stuff like that. So we have to click through that every time, unfortunately. Nothing we can do about it. That first question is also very contentious in my opinion. The first question we answer asks, does Caterpie evolve into Butterfree? Which, the answer in the quiz is yes. But does it evolve directly into Butterfree? No, because there's Metapod in between. So I think it's at least debatable.
It absolutely is debatable, yeah.
Yeah. I know the first time I played this as a kid, I got that question wrong. I know for a fact. Because my kid brain was like, no, Caterpie evolves into Metapod. Metapod evolves into Butterfree. And I said it just like that, too.
The voice and everything.
Yeah, exactly. I put on my old man voice. You might be thinking I'm answering yes for every trivia question here, which is not the case. The correct answers are yes, no, no, yes, no. But you don't have to scroll down to no and hit A to answer no. You can just hit B instead. So it's faster to do that. That's all it is. But if you want to know the... Yeah, just optimize. You know, if you ever wanted to know the answers, it's yes, no, 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 yes, no. Or if you want it in buttons, it's A, B, 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 A, B.
Yep, just Pokemon movement right there.
Yep. So this is why this is perfectly free. So trainers of note have what we call smart AI, and we put that heavily in quotes because it's not the smart. We abuse how smart it is. So gym leaders, our rivals, the Elite Four, trainers like this, if they have a move that is a type that is super effective against the Pokemon you're using, it will use it because the AI is smart and it is trying to win. However, it doesn't mean that they will always use a move that is going to damage you. So, for example, Psychic type moves are very effective against us as a Poison Ground type. Agility is a move that is a Psychic type move. So if a Pokemon has Agility as its only Psychic type move, and the trainer is one of the smart AI trainers, it will only spam Agility. That's all it will do. So we abuse that a few times, and mainly we abuse it there. We actually didn't get to see it because Blaine actually can do one of two things. It can use a move, which it will always use Agility as long as Nidoking is in the front. Or for whatever reason, despite it being turn 1, Blaine can also choose to use a Super Potion, which is what we got. And that's actually the faster of the two options. Because if he had used Agility with Growlithe, then Growlithe would get a second turn because Growlithe would then be faster than us. It wouldn't matter, it would just use Agility again, but then we have to click through all that text and all that. So that's why it's faster. Otherwise, we get the Super Potion. Because then we just are still faster and we take it out quickly. But we use the abuse of smart AI a few times in the late game parts of this run. So it's pretty unique. And here is a shout out to the precise routing of this run. So you saw I just defeated that Mr. Mime and I leveled up. That level up made me exactly just 1 point higher in speed than that Alakazam. Therefore, I can kill it in one shot. If I had done anything weird like Mr. Trainer or something, you can't even Mr. Trainer. We don't hit optionals here. So, you know, if something had been weird and for whatever, like I did the gyms out in a different order or something like that, I would not be faster than that Alakazam, and then we would have a problem. But because the routing is so specific and precise, I am exactly 1 point faster than that Alakazam, which I think is always really cool. It just speaks to how optimized the route is.
Alternatively, it speaks to how much you're a gamer.
That's true too. Just very, very elite stuff going on here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you're keeping track, we now have 7 badges all of a sudden. Because we just crushed through Koga, Erica, Blaine, and Sabrina all back to back to back to back. And here we are in the 8th gym against Giovanni. This trainer is nothing, this cool trainer. He has a Rhyhorn, which we take out in one shot. And then we have one of the scariest trainers in the whole run, which is after this, which is so scary we actually save in front of it. And is that trainer Giovanni? Absolutely not. Giovanni is basically free as well.
Oh no, you used the F word.
Yeah. I think it's free. As long as you input correctly, then it's free. You could miss input, I guess, and that would make it not free. But it's similar to Blaine. The only thing that you can screw up is if you do something wrong. There's no RNG element to it. But this black belt is scary. So this Machoke, what we do not want to see is Karate Chop, because we're going to set up on turn 1 and use X accuracy. Perfect, we didn't get it. If we had gotten Karate Chop there, Karate Chop is one of the few moves in the game that has such a high crit percent that it probably would have crit, and we probably would have died. Well, if it crit, we certainly would have died, I should say. But if it didn't crit, we wouldn't have died. So that's the only move that would have given us a problem, and Machoke is decently favorable to use it. So the fact that we got Leer is perfect. So we're in good shape. So we fight those 2 trainers. We actually walk right out of the gym and walk back in because it resets the trainer's position on the screen. But I'm gonna move up 1 tile here and use an elixir. The reason why I'm moving specifically like that is you want to, when you're running this game as much as you can, pause on a tile in which you would be turning next, because when you unpause, you save the turn frame. It only saves a frame, just a frame. But if you do that multiple times over a run, it could save like a couple seconds. It's worth doing.
I meant to ask about that earlier because I didn't know if turn frames were in this game because I forgot.
They are. Yeah, they are. They certainly are.
Epic.
Yeah. So Giovanni, like I said, is free. We Earthquake to win, except for his Rhydon at the very end. Everything else, his first 4 Pokemon, we just Earthquake to win. We're faster than all of his Pokemon. We're stronger than all of his Pokemon. Not a problem. Nidoqueen. I'm sorry, my queen. And then Nidoking, we got a challenger over here, but you don't stand a chance.
You do not have the DBs.
Yep. Nope, you can't hang with me. And then we are at Rhydon here, which we use Blizzard. Now there is a chance that we can one-shot it. It's unfavorable to do so, so it's fine. We're used to missing it. We just Blizzard again. And Giovanni, of course, is a smart AI trainer. Therefore, he is going to continuously use whatever moves are super effective against me. Which the move that a type that is super effective against Nidoking here is ground type. Ground on ground is is super effective. So the Rhydon will always spam Fissure. However, Fissure will not work on a fellow ground type. So it's smart AI but dumb AI. Nope, I always do that. All right, but that's all of our gym badges. So it's time to go to the Pokemon League.
But there's a rival battle, right?
Oh, there sure is.
Oh, I remembered. Yes.
There sure is. Now, this rival battle is not really scary, but it's a little bit scary. The only thing that's scary about it is the Venusaur at the end. We're going to use Blizzard on it. Spoiler alert. If the Blizzard crits or really lows roll, then it will survive, which is obviously unfortunate. So that's the only scary thing. But we could even if that happens, one, it could use Vine Whip, which will survive anyway. But two, if we die, it's fine. We have a revive. It's just slow. This can be avoided by going out of your way to pick up a PP up in the route. I just choose not to do it because it's so infrequent that Venusaur gives you a problem, especially since we have the repels anyway. I don't usually bother going out of my way to get it. You would get it on cycling roads, kind of out of the way. So what I elect to do is I use an extra X item than I need to, which is an X accuracy, and that just guarantees that the Blizzard hits to begin with. And then I just kind of hope that it does enough damage to kill it, which it usually does. But occasionally it won't, so we'll see. It's a very favorable range. If we get a crit, it actually makes it scary. The reason why it makes it scary is because a critical hit ignores all status buffing abilities. So for example, if I critical hit, it will ignore the fact that I've used an X special to do more damage. So it will just be completely contingent on the power of the move plus the critical hit power, which when you use X items can be lower than just using the move with an X item. So a crit can still kill Venusaur there, but it has a chance of not killing, and even with the X item, it still has a chance of not killing. So, but we got lucky, so it doesn't even matter.
Have you even used one of those Marathon or Vice yet?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. I have not, which is good. Yeah, we've been deathless thus far.
Lucky.
Yeah, so far so good. But the Elite Four, which is coming up, not immediately, but shortly, is a place that can happen. So we'll see. All right. So this is the ramp up leading to Victory Road here. I guess you can consider it part of Victory Road. There's nothing here of note. Even this wall, we used the super rappel in order to get through the little grass before the rival fight. The same grass where we caught Nidoran, ironically. But even if we hadn't used a rappel there, that water cannot give us an encounter. There's no encounters that pop up in that water. So there's not really anything of note here until we get into Victory Road. Oops. All right, so here we are, Victory Road. It's just a series of boulder puzzles, and if we move properly, we don't hit any trainers at all, which is good. So we just have to solve the boulder puzzles as fast as we can. Now, the movement is actually pretty precise, so this one is not precise, but when we get to the second boulder, if I can move precisely, not wasting any extra tiles, I can save a menu, which saves about like 2 or 3 seconds. I almost never get it because I'm not great at moving on the bike, so I'm gonna take this a little careful just to be safe.
You know, I like legally have to ask this though, right? A series of
What's
swag
that?
boulder puzzles.
Of course, I will try my best. Swag boulder is just a trick that is visually appealing. It does not. It actually loses 2 frames every time you successfully do it. So actually is a trick that loses a little bit of time, but I will try it on the last boulder that we do, because that's the one I can get it on if I do it, but I'm not very good at it. It's a 2-frame trick, so it's a little bit precise. So I'll try my best for the people.
For the fans, let's go.
For the fans.
If this was in person, there would be a round of applause right now.
Oh yeah. The crowd would be going absolutely wild. So yeah, the super rappel I used before, this is the one that's pretty precise. I've already wasted, I think, 2 tiles of movement, so odds are I'll probably have to use an extra mini, which is fine. I almost do every time anyway, so it's not a big deal. The reason why we can save a menu is if I had moved super precisely, I would not have to use a super rappel early. And therefore I could save it when I was gonna use it on a menu where I would activate strength with Squirtle and then use the bike again. Oops. So it probably isn't happening. Let's see how far away I am. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna risk it. For the people. Yeah. Okay, cool. It worked out. I was pretty close, so I decided to risk it anyway. And then if I could have just gotten an encounter there, but I didn't. I got lucky. Okay. All right, here we go. We're gonna try and swag boulder her. Let me get past the stairs first, though, because I can accidentally just go up the stairs.
Which is hilarious, but...
Come on. Oh, there it is. There it is. I got one.
Yes, let's go.
It is a if it's so stupid. All it is if you press up on the exact tile that you hit the boulder, your player character will turn up, and the smoke from that, or dust or whatever you want to call it, that occurs from moving the boulder will move up despite the boulder moving to the left. That's all it is. So you probably saw it looked a little bit strange visually, but there it is. Did it for the people.
It's the
all right
trick in the game.
Yeah, easily. So here we are, the Elite Four. So Lorelei, like, we haven't had to swap out at all, which has been good. We talked about it at the beginning, and I mentioned at the beginning of the game, the one Elite Four member, we do a purposeful swap, and Lorelei is that Elite Four member. So we swap to our bird specifically, which causes the Dugong to always use Aurora Beam, and that happens because of that smart AI we mentioned. But for whatever reason, Lorelei has this AI in place that if Dugong uses Aurora Beam, the very next turn it will always use Rest, no matter what. So we use that turn where Dugong uses rest in order to use an X accuracy, and then we just horn drill the rest to win.
So not exactly the F word, but pretty close to it.
Yeah, and you can actually, so like you can, there is the option of not swapping to the bird at all and just using X accuracy on your first turn. But that you only have a 25% chance of not getting Aurora Beam, because Aurora Beam is also super effective on Nidoking as well. So, but obviously we don't want Lorelei to hit Nidoking because we don't want to die. But there is a chance that she could use rest or something else instead. But it's, like I said, it's about a 25% chance, so it's not worth taking. But that's one Elite Four member down already, and here we are in Bruno. Bruno is basically free. There is one thing he could do to ruin my day, and that is if his first Onix here uses Slam, that Slam then hits, and then that Slam also crits, because then it would kill me. That is a 1.9% chance to happen at any given time, so it's very unlikely that it'll happen. Which we didn't. We got Rock Throw. I actually would have preferred if that Rock Throw hit, because now we're actually going to lose Red Bar on his last Pokemon as Machamp. So that's unfortunate, but it loses like 2 seconds, but it's fine.
As much as I hate to say it, that's cringe.
Yeah. It's, we have to, you can't control it. Gotta just do what we can, And then, yeah, so we don't have Red Bar from Machamp, unfortunately. But, what are you gonna do?
I guess we're gonna listen to the cries.
Yep, but it's okay. We'd just the cry of Machamp anyway, because we actually would lose Red Bar here anyway, because we have to heal for Agatha or we will die. So, so we're gonna use one Super Potion here to heal us into roughly that range, and then we have a rare candy that we picked up all the way in the Pokemon Mansion that we're gonna use here, and then we're gonna take on Agatha. The reason why we use the rare candy there is it makes it so that we can outspeed everything now. The older route would actually have us use an X speed and an X special during this fight, but now we only need to use an X special. So it's a little bit faster, and definitely safer. Alright. X special here. Yeah, that's not great. It's just slow. Pokeflute. He's probably going to use Dream Eater next, so it doesn't really matter. Ooh, he didn't use Dream Eater. For whatever reason, he decided to Hypnosis again, even though I was already asleep.
Wait.
Now he used Dream Eater. yeah, it doesn't make sense. Gengar doesn't have any moves that are super effective against us, so the smart AI isn't in play here. It just uses whatever it wants to. So there's nothing we can really do about it. It's just RNG. The only thing that really matters in this fight is that Blizzard landed on that Golbat. If it didn't, that Golbat could have used a move called Haze, which eliminates all status changes. So it would have not only canceled out the X special that I used just then on Gengar, but it actually also removes every bonus that you have, and that includes badge boosts. Badge boosts are every time you get a badge, it boosts. You have a passive boost to a certain stat. So it would eliminate all my badge boosts, which would make me slower than this Gengar, and also probably not kill it in one hit. So it would have been a problem, but not a big deal. So a little bit of slow of an Agatha fight, but not a big deal.
Yeah, right.
And here we are. We're gaming.
Yeah.
We have 2 trainers left in the whole game, Lance and the champion. Because I have not died at all, I'm actually going to do something slightly, it's not risky because I can just use a revive, but you would typically save here because of the leading Pokemon that Lance uses, but because I have 2 revives, I'm not going to.
Let's go.
I'm gonna save the time here. So Lance is free after his first Pokemon. So his first Pokemon that he leads with is Gyarados. What we're going to do is we're going to X Special on turn 1, and Gyarados will use Hydro Pump because smart AI. Hydro Pump is not a 100% accurate move, so it can miss, but it's actually kind of bad if it misses because we want to get hit into red bar potentially. But if it crits, it doesn't matter if we were full health, we're going to die. But luckily we didn't get a crit. We healed above the default range, which is why we healed again there. And now we're in red bar. So that went pretty much as expected.
Let's go.
Yeah. So now the rest of the Pokemon are pretty free. The only thing that's not free is that we can just miss with Blizzard, because it's not a 100% accurate move. We X-Speed on the second Dragonair here just to outspeed everything later on. Again, smart AI, because Dragonairs have agility, they're going to spam it. Can't control it, so. Aerodactyl, we Thunderbolt. Feels like it shouldn't work as well as it does, but Aerodactyl is rock flying, so because it's flying, that's where the super effective part comes in to play.
Out of sheer curiosity,
yeah.
How are you right now in like relation to your PB?
Let me do something and I'll take a look at that. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I'm going to. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use just one regular potion just to heal out of the range of 2 wing attacks, and I'm again not going to save. I'm not really in striking distance of my PB. My PB is a 152.45.
Okay.
But I am in very much striking distance of my marathon PB. I'm actually ahead of it by about 50 seconds.
Okay, that's kind of epic. 3B PB,
yeah,
but like only marathon PB, but still.
Yeah, but we could still lose it here, so let's see. Wing attack is fine. Oh, we got the crit. Unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. So we probably won't marathon PB either, but that's fine. We're going to revive.
But we got close.
Yeah, we got close. Just take me out. You don't have to. Don't do sky attack. Come on. Just take me out, please.
Also,
ridiculous.
Also, there's battle animations now.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the champion fight, even if you have battle animations turned off, they just come back. There's no explanation as to why. They just do. All right, we're gonna try this again. X special.
Is that a glitch?
I don't know if it's a glitch. I think the intention is that they just want to make this last fight epic. So they just put it all back on because this is the last fight of the game. So
that makes sense.
I think that's the intention, but we don't know for sure.
Nice health.
Absolutely nice. We're gonna lose that here in a second, but that's okay. Actually, I think we could still marathon PB by a little. I think there's a chance.
Just mash out of your mind.
Yeah, the only thing is, if we had not gotten the crit there, and then we would have had to still survive one more turn. So if Pidgeot had used a wing attack again, then we would have been in trouble anyway. But we would have been a red bar, and red bar still applies to the champion fight despite the animations returning. So that would have made this fight go a lot faster. That's the only thing. It was worth going for, though. We had the revives, so it was absolutely worth it. Still a really good run. Still a really good run. Like, I'm very happy with this.
Yeah, I didn't even do the runner, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah. All right, so that is the last fight, but time is not here. Time is after the Hall of Fame. So it is coming up shortly, but not yet. Ooh, we're gonna miss it by 5 seconds.
No.
Yeah. Unfortunate. That's all right though. It's still such a good run. I'm very happy with it. Yeah. So we'll, since this is all just text mashing and nothing of importance is here, we'll just do a couple quick shout outs while we're here. Thank you to Ness _ for being here and providing the excellent commentary. I really appreciate that. You feel free to follow me if you like. My name's Conception2. You can follow or subscribe at twitch.tv/Conception2. I'd be happy to have you there. I run this game. I've recently picked up running the Pokemon Sword DLC runs, so those are pretty fun. I also run some other kind of like quirky games like Grim Fandango, if anyone's aware of that game and things like that. Yeah, that's about it. So I appreciate, and you know what? Thank you to, I wanted to say this as well. Thank you to everyone involved in the staff and the crew and the organization behind SACE here. Being able to close out this event is truly an honor. So I'm really, really thankful that you valued me enough to be able to close out this event for you. So thank you guys so much for doing that. Time is coming up as soon as we start to fade to white here. So get ready. And time. Not too shabby. But yeah, I know we're a little bit behind. Hopefully I got us a little bit more on track with the schedule. Obviously I'm the last run anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So thank you so much for having me, and yeah, we'll just end it there. Thank you again.
GG all around. Thank you so much, Conception and NES, for the commentary as well. It was definitely a great run.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone, that's going to do it for our